Tiling complex patterns is, well, as it suggests, a little bit complex sometimes. So it's very difficult to try and get this to repeat correctly. If you don't know how to make a tile yet, I suggest you go back to a video called Create a Tile or Create Seamless Tile before you do this, because this is for people who know how to do tiles and now have got some complex pattern that needs to be tiled. So I've taken this off the internet. So it's a image of some marble. Obviously this is going to be a bit difficult to repeat properly, so we're going to have to use a couple of the tools that we've done in the previous videos to make this tile. So let's start. What I'm going to do is put this into the corner, copy the layer, and then copy it across into the tile. So it's a 200 by 200 tile, 200 millimeters by 200 millimeters tile. What we don't want to do, and let's make it a half drop as well. So it's, you know, as complicated as we can make it, because then it's good learning. So what we've got is, we don't ever want to try and copy this area and this area by hand. We always want to bring the editing back into the middle. Trying to copy this bit and then copy that bit is going to be very difficult. So we'll just move them across. So we just copy them across, so we know this bit and that bit and that bit and that bit copy. Right, so we'll just fill in these little areas here. Oh, that's my phone. So we'll just go down and we'll copy this across as well. So now we can see we've got this little area here and this little area here. So if we select, maybe we select this bit. Oops. Right, yeah, there you go. I'll bring this down. So yeah, so I selected that bit and then I click Command J and it's just copied that section for me. So we can just go Command J and then 100 minus 200. And maybe bring these down so I'm not so close to the edge. And then if we take this one, we bring this down to the bottom, and then it fills in this gap. So if we save that layer, and we, so this is from a previous video, sorry. So now when we copy this in here, we can see that, well, let's be honest, it looks a bit shit right now, because you can still see all these lines and it's not exactly a convincing marble. So we've still got all these lines here that we need to deal with. Right, what we're going to do is, I'm going to keep this as an editable layer. Let's call this just raw files. Then I'm going to copy this, turn this one off, and we're going to flatten that. So I've just gone Command E or Control E with that folder, and now I've got this as a flattened section. So there's a couple of things we're going to try. If you've never used the clone stamp tool before, I suggest you look at the video for the clone stamp tool. What you do is you select the clone stamp tool. Oops, not that one. Clone stamp tool. If you hold down Alt or Option, it'll change the cursor into that little circle. You click on that area and then it will paint back in to those areas, so you can see it's copying those bits over here now, which is not what we want. So if we just gently dab on these areas, because it's such an abstract sort of shape anyway, it's not too bad. If it was something a bit more regimented, it would be much, much more difficult. So we're just going to select on these areas and copy them across. So after I literally told you not to edit these corners, that's exactly what I've gone and done. So that was stupid. So we'll get to that in a minute now, because sometimes best practices don't always work out, especially not when you're doing a live video. Right, so we've filled in those areas. There might be a little bit of a line up here maybe. Right, so let's save that. Let's head over to InDesign to see what that looks like. So if we update our file, so it looks a lot better already. If you've got this and you want to get rid of these blue lines so you can really see what it looks like, you just go to View, Screen Mode, Preview. And if yours isn't showing up like this, you want to go Display Performance, High Quality. Right. So we can see there's maybe a little line here where that's done that, but it's actually not too bad. There's a bit of a line going on there. But it's always better to look at the thing as a whole, because you will start to see maybe repeating patterns that you are not so keen on. Really looks like there's a line going across there. So I'm going to work into that now. But the actual repeat itself doesn't look too bad. So let's deal with that line. So it's this line here. Sometimes the best thing to do is actually go across the line, and then you can, so it's working with the marble, so you can see the marble is working up, sort of working in these kind of lines, so I am going to work in with it like that. Let's try that, save that. There we go, I think that looks a lot better. Yeah, I think that works pretty well. I mean, I've been quite lucky, I think, with the actual repeat itself. So I will be doing a couple of these sort of complex patterns, because I'm sure there's plenty of problems that are going to arise from different types of complex patterns. But yeah, I think that's been quite good. If, for example, you were getting a really hard line on the edge there, sometimes what a good way to do it is if you use the marquee tool and you feather. So let's go 30, especially with an abstract shape like this. If you make your selection and then layer via copy, we'll have this, and it's got a really, really soft edge because we feathered it up here. So you could take that and add it in to wherever you wanted, and it basically blends in. And then you could, oh, this would be good. So if we, before we copy it over, let's see if that's really noticeable. Yeah, so you can see there's, you can see the line there now that's appeared there. So, oh yeah, it's quite visible there as well. So what you do is you take that layer, copy that across, and save that. This is why it's good to keep flicking between Photoshop and InDesign, because even though it looks good there, you don't really know whether it's how it's going to turn out as a whole pattern repeat. And there you go. And then those little lines have disappeared. So that's a quick way of looking at complex patterns and repeating them, especially if it's a flat piece as well. So if you have any questions or you have any problems, let me know in the comments below, or send me a message in all the different ways, and I'll get back to you. Okay, thanks.